Early in the season, both East Islip and Hills East were trying to replace a large group of seniors graduated from a year ago. Now at the quarter pole, they look forward as they try and make a push towards the playoffs in Suffolk's League One. From Half Hollow Hills East High School, today it's a Suffolk County Boys League One lacrosse showdown, with the Red Men of East Islip coming in to take on the Thunderbirds of Hills East. Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to Half Hollow Hills East. Matt Shortis with you on MSG Varsity. And as we hit the quarter pole of the season, this is a great measuring bench stick type game for both East Islip and Hills East. Two teams trying to make that top 10 as the postseason final 10 in League One. East Islip narrowly made it. Hills East narrowly missed it a year ago, so two teams that'll be fighting for a couple of those final playoff spots, and a great opportunity for them to see exactly where they are within the League One standings. For East Islip, Tyler Rigo is going to be a huge key to their success today. The four-year player and captain. He's really the only guy returning with a lot of offensive experience from last year's team. A tough physical guy, something you love to see an attacker, an all-county football player, and he'll play his collegiate lacrosse at Colgate. On the other side, another attacker for Hills East, Jesse Parker, a junior, has an excellent finish, just rips it from the left side. An Under Armour All-American this upcoming summer, and he has over 18 goals and 8 assists on the season. So Hills East taking on East Islip. Starting lineups come your way on MSG Varsity. Welcome back to Tom Collins and Chris Pantier Memorial Stadium at Hills East High School. Matt Shortis and Tom Schnars with you for this Suffolk County League One showdown. We'll take a look at the starting lineups first for East Islip at 2-4, but 2-2 in the league, coached by Joe Ancona in his 27th season. An East Islip graduate back in 1981. He'll start Rob Rohan in goal. Two brothers on defense, Justin and Zach Carreri. Ken Pastore also on the defensive end. The midfield will be Troy Ravello, Tyree Brown, and Joe Modica. The attack, Tyler Rigo, who we already heard from, Sean Cummings, and Robert Scanoni. And then for Hills, coached by Gordy Hodgson, his second season in his second stint at Hills East. Jordan Eckholtz will start between the pipes. Cody Dowd, Max Geringswald, and Mike LaRusso will start on defense. Carter Jones, Joe Tessitorio, and Zach Shapiro in the midfield, and Anthony Ramazel, Dan Bockelman, and Jesse Parker at the attack. Our officials today are Mike Messana and Tito Perez. And Hills is in the home white with black and red, and East Islip is in the road red uniforms. An infraction on the face-off gives the possession, the first one of the game, to Hills East. And it's Dan Bockelman controlling behind the cage. Near side it comes for Parker. We talked about that excellent finishing experience. This time he looks to center. Ball gets knocked down and picked up by EI as Sean Gozetta has it. The long pole midfielder coming up the floor. Here's Tyree Brown looking inside, has it deflected out of his stick, and squirting out near the football 20-yard line. We have a whistle on a loose ball push. So East Islip will have their first settled possession. Here's a shot from around the corner, and EI is on the board first. Sean Cummings, the senior, getting the Red Men on the board. Just 46 seconds in. So right off that restart, Cummings going to work. The first-year starter. Also a wrestler on EI. Just turned the corner, and not much that the netminder Eckholtz could do. And now our officials just checking the stick to make sure everything all right, especially with a day like today. You know, little drizzle in the air, not much, but you never know. Once that pocket gets a little moist, always want to have it checked throughout the course of the game. So East Islip, quick goal, 46 seconds in. They lead at 1-0. Trying to go over 500 in League One at 2-2 right now. Ground ball picked up by Matt Walter on the faceoff. And the Redmen go back on the offense. A team that a year ago went 9-9. They lost in the first round of the playoffs to Smithtown East and graduated 14 seniors from last year's squad. 4 of them currently playing at the Division I level. And Joanne kind of pointed out that a lot more of them are playing D2, D3. Pretty much all of them are playing collegiately. Whistle on a moving pick, I believe. And Hills will have it now. Over the line it comes Max Geringswald. A long pole midi brings it up. Now into the stick of Pellegrino. So Hills trying to tie this one up. Here's Parker. Far side around the cage. Again, the All-American. He'll be playing in that Under Armour game down in Maryland over the summer. Jones starts a dodge from the top of the point. He shoots one just wide. Just a little low of Rob Rowan. 2 minutes gone by. East Islip on top, 1-0 over Hills East. Pellegrino trying to back his way in, and they move it back around up top. Here at the top left side, nice back check by the midfielder Joe Modica for East Islip, pardon me. Numbers for East Islip, a quick shot, but a save made by Eccles. And now he tries to clear up ahead. Ball will go out of bounds. A lot of contact as Cody Dowd thought that a loose ball cross-check should have been called. The outlet from Eccles was a little high and Dowd went up for it and took a hard hit. I believe it was from Tyree Brown. So Rohan, a long pass up ahead, finds nicely. Tyler Rigo, who is spotlighted. Hills East at 3-2, 2-1 in the league. And Gordy Hodgson says this is by far the youngest team he's ever had in his many years of coaching. Here's a quick shot right over the goal mouth. It went a little wide, picked up by Eccles. And now he tries to clear. Near side, it comes for Dowd. Over midfield, and just coming into the game was Jack Tessarorio. And he's able to dump it off to Tessarorio. Here's Parker, who's been spending a lot of his time behind the cage today. Now Ramazel. Near side, they were looking for Carter Jones. Jones picks it back up. Pardon me, that was Nick Pellegrino. Now comes up top to Jones. Left side for Albert Simon. Here's Ramazel again. Hills East certainly taking their time in the early going. Waiting for that good shot. Good offensive set, though. Everybody touching, everybody getting involved. Here's Simon. Drops the ball a little bit, now trying to scoop up the ground ball, having a little trouble with it, but eventually recovers. And a whistle on the loose ball push, so Hills East will have it anyway. Goal line extended to the far side. Trying to turn the corner was Parker. Looking behind the cage and overthrowing Ramazel. That'll be a turnover. East Islip will have possession. Near side, Rigo with it for East Islip. The Redmen with a 1-0 advantage as we approach the halfway point of the first quarter. Here's a nice little give and go shot just wide off the stick of Joe Modica. Third-year player, played midfield last year. Or played close defense last year, moved to midi this year because of lack of depth. But they like what he's done so far this year. Crossfield pass for Mike LaRusso. LaRusso brings it over the midfield line. Then throws it away, but a flag down along the far side. And it looks like we'll have a penalty on an offsides call. That's going to go against East Islip. So our first extra man opportunity of the game belongs to Hills East. They send out the man up unit. Rothstein, Ramasil, and Tyler Balkin up at the midfield, top of the restraining box. Top right point. Here's Rothstein with it. Move it back on the near side. Hills West, Hills East trying to get into that offense. Cross, skip pass. Here's a low shot and an EMO goal. Dan Bockelman has Hills East on the board, and we are tied at 1. Just a nice skip pass, and Bockelman winding and firing. Able to go low left side. Good placement. And we're tied at 1 on the EMO. So midway through the first quarter, each team has scored 1. And the face-offs are even to this point as well. East Islip wins this one, but we'll have a whistle on the push and a late flag coming down as well. So right after giving up an extra man goal, East Islip will go on the man advantage. And Modica will bring it in. So they spread across. Very mobile man down defense. Usually you go right to the box and 1. Not exactly what Hills East is employing. And they aggressively able to cause a turnover. What a nice job by Cody Dowd. Among others, keep aggressively pushing out and you create the turnover. There's Albert Simon bringing the ball upfield. And work it back behind the cage, Anthony Ramazel. Bockelman, who had the game's only goal for Hills East, now with it. Converted midi from last year, also a lefty. Second-year varsity guy. Ball squirts up. Ramazell lost the handle, and it's right into the stick of Modica. Modica with a big burst of speed, driving in towards the cage. Modica untouched, fires one left, and it's loose, picked up by Hills East. Boy, what an excellent opportunity as now Hills East tries to clear ball on the turf, and it rolls all the way out near the offensive attacking box for Hills East. They get it up on the ground ball. Bockelman scoops it up near side, getting hounded as he's pushed away by that East Islip defense. 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter, tied at 1 apiece. Here's a centering feed, knocked down. Bockelman in pursuit, able to catch up to it. Knocked down, and the ground ball is picked up by Zach Carreri. East Islip back on the offensive. Brown trying to feed inside. Again knocked down. Both teams' interior defenses doing a real nice job knocking down the passes, getting the sticks up in the passing lanes. Jack Tesserero bringing the ball up. Here's Ramazell, captain as a junior, which coach says is a very rare thing for him. A little behind the back shot. Nothing doing there though, and it's scooped up on the ground ball by Rohan, and he tries to clear ahead. Picked up by Hills East. Cody Dowd was there on the ground ball. Tied at 1. A little over 2.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter of play. Little hesitation. Here's a bounce shot, goes wide. Tracking after it was Ramazell. Ramazell trying to turn the corner, falling down, shooting. This one misses wide. It's picked up though by Hills East. Jesse Parker just being hounded and loses the ball. Zach Carreri able to pick it up, get it to Ken Pastore. Now East Islip back on the offensive with under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Nice look inside. Here's Rigo, and he shoots it wide. And tracking it down is Robert Scanoni. Scanoni, a first-year starter, plays football. An all-league football player, in fact, for East Islip. Scrum for the loose ball. Picked up by Dowd, who's been all over the place on the loose balls today. Hills East in transition. Nice pass across and a save made by Rowan. Right on the doorstep, Rowan getting a piece of it. But Pellegrino was right there. Saves a goal for East Islip, keeps things tied at 1 apiece with 1:05 to go in the opening quarter. Here's Kenny James straight away with it. Pellegrino back behind the cage. Near side, falling down, wings one wide. Seen a couple of Hills East players really just taking shots, trying to attack in front as they fall down. So Hills can hold for the final shot of the quarter with 38 seconds to go. Pass comes all the way up top, stepping into one and shooting just wide was Shapiro. So 31 seconds remain as the ball is put back into play. Low scoring quarter at the moment, just one goal apiece. East Islip got on the board 46 seconds in. Hill scored about halfway through the quarter, and that's been it. Little stutter step. Parker lost it. And picking up the ground ball was Tyree Brown, and the first quarter will come to an end. The defense reigning right now, tied at 1 after 1. We start the second quarter tied at 1 between Hills East and Islip. Matt Shortis, Tom Schnars with you. Cummings getting on the board for East Islip, and Bockelman, the lone goal for Hills East in the first quarter. On a midweek morning game here, spring break. Again, East Islip in the road red, Hills East in the home whites. Two teams kind of at the quarter of their seasons as they try and progress towards the playoff spot. That was the goal for both of these teams coming in. East Islip just made it last year, and Hills East narrowly missed the postseason a year ago. But Hills feels they're playing a much more challenging schedule after this. They play Ward Melville. Here's a dodge from the right side. They already played West Islip. So two of the top teams always in League One. Smithtown West, of course, right up there as well. Predicted by a lot of people to finally come out on top. This last year was a close one. They just lost to West Islip in overtime. Here's a nice back check. The ball comes all the way out on the ground to Ramazil. But then he tries to move it back up top, gets underneath the stick of Jones, and rolls it out of bounds. Carter Jones just lightning quick speed, says Cordy Hodgson, who's been around for a long time. He spent 11 years at Bethpage High School, 7 years coaching at Hills West, winning a county title back in 2009. Hills East from 99 to 2005. And then in 2005, he wanted to take a break to watch his boys play at West Islip. And then he returned last year to the sidelines of Hills East. Up top it comes for Tyree Brown. He tried to dodge and lost the ball. Lob pass ahead. Nicely corralled in by Rothstein. Behind the cage, here's Bockelman. Bockelman trying to turn the corner. Dodges to his left side and puts it in. Normally you see the player go the other way. He turned to his right shoulder as the defender was giving it to him, and able to go top shelf. Nice little move. And Hills East has their first lead of the game. And East Islip will take a timeout. Well, MSG Varsity's talent show is back as students from around the tri-state compete for the top slots in Best Solo Vocal, Best Ensemble Vocal, and Best Dance Ensemble. Remember, your vote decides who moves on to the next round. MSG Varsity's talent show Sundays at 8 p.m. and only on Optimum, never on Fios, never on satellite. So 2-1, Hills the lead over East Islip. Bockelman has scored both goals for the Thunderbirds. And the ground ball picked up by Albert Simon. Simon coming back from injury. Jones, nice job sticking with it. After he lost it a moment, Jones has a crease, fires one on, and it's saved. And now East Islip tries to clear ahead. Plenty of bodies flying around on the loose ball. And on a whistle, East Islip will have it. Sun's starting to break through the clouds a little bit, still very overcast on this morning. You wonder, kids off from school, early morning game in the middle of the week. Maybe it takes a little bit to get into this one. Here's a quick pass right on the crease, just wide. And Scanoni actually put that one in. By the reaction, it looked like it went wide, but Scanoni ties things up at 2. Just an excellent job in transition by East Islip. Modica leading the break. So we're tied at 2 apiece. Modica picks up the ground ball. He's doing a nice job on the face-off X today. Matt Walter exits. Tyler Brown and Troy Ravello return for East Islip as they try and move back on top. We're tied at 2. So we had 2 goals in the entire first quarter. A little under 4 minutes remaining, or 4 minutes past in the second quarter, and each team has one on the board. Here's Modica up top for Ravello. Ravello just spoken of very highly by Joe Ancona, his coach. Very coachable player. I really think he's going to make a marked improvement by the end of this season. Modica, nice look on the wing, but just firing wide was Scanoni. Those two seem to have a nice little connection going. He had a good look right on the doorstep. Here's Robert Kenny. Up top it comes, winging one on and scoring is Tyree Brown. Not much that Jordan Eckholtz, the freshman, could do there. Didn't have a great look at it, was a little screened, and Brown was able to step into it, had plenty of room to operate, and put a load behind it. Not to be outdone, here comes Hills West right off the face-off. Trying to put a quick one on the board, they miss wide. Tesorero near side it comes for Jesse Parker, who's been pretty quiet so far today. Parker dipping and dodging, tries to go crossfield, has his pass picked off by Sean Gazzetta. Now Justin Carrera trying to outlet ahead. They're able to get it into the stick of their midfielder Modica. He's been involved, has a couple of assists today as we approach the halfway point of the second quarter, pardon me. Now Brown, goal line extended near side. Brown surveying what's in front of him. And they swing it up top to Tyler Rigo. The captain and 4-year player for East Islip. Rigo will start the dodge from up top and in front of a muddled crease area. Puts one on, it's blocked in front. Here's Scanoni on the ground ball, has it taken out of his stick by Cody Dowd. And then Dowd lost it, picked up by Modica. He can't handle it, and eventually scooped up and cleared away by Corey Mears. And Hills East will take a timeout as Mears was in a little bit of trouble with 5:59 to go in quarter number 2. .559 remaining in the first half. And Hills East will go back on the attack. Trailing by 1, 3-2, East Islip on top. Goals by Cummings, Scanoni, and Brown. And they've scored the last 2 in the game. Near side it comes for Jack Tesserero. Ball knocked down in front. And another whistle on the loose ball push. And East Islip will have it. Troy Ravello real excited about it. Long pass. Deep in the attacking zone of East Islip. Rolls out of bounds. Who was last to touch? East Islip will turn it over back to Hills with 5:02 to go in the opening half. Well, Rob Rohan, he's got a pretty good outlet. Sometimes he seems to get a little overzealous, so to speak. But I was wrong. I misread the referee. And it's East Islip possession. Here's Sean Cummings up top. It comes for Ravello. They'll work it around. Modica. Back it comes to him to a cutting Modica. Just pulls it a little left on the shot. And a real nice look. Again, Scanoni looking for Modica that time. Those two have been clicking pretty well through the first 20 minutes or so of this game. Nice little spin move, shot, and a goal. Tyler Rigo. And East Islip is now on top by a score of 4-2. And Rigo, just a little spin move, was able to get by his defender. And a point-blank shot against the netminder, Eckholtz. And Eckholtz, the netminder, is a guy that Hills East likes a lot, though a young guy. He's having his normal ups and downs of a freshman campaign as a freshman starter. And a flag down. East Islip is going to have a man advantage, as they already have a 4-2 lead on the scoreboard. So on the slash, it'll be a minute penalty against Steve Sarcona. Light drizzle starting to come down. Brown. They wing one from the left side, and a goal again by Rico. Boy, that had a lot behind it. And Rigo scores the EMO goal, his second of the game. Back-to-back goals for Tyler Rigo. Timeout taken by East Islip after the faceoff win. 3:31 remaining in the opening half. East Islip looking like a different team in this second quarter. They scored a goal 46 seconds into the game and then did not score for the next 14 minutes, but they have scored the game's last 4 goals. And right now they're working a bit of an isolation for Rigo. Rigo, nice little dodge. This one blocked away by Eccles. Rebounded though by Tyree Brown. They work it right on the doorstep. And another goal. Robert Scanoni has his second of the game. Well, a little fervent pace of play. It was Rigo who was robbed of a goal only by a really nice save by Eccles. And then Brown happened to get the rebound, and because of the defense sliding over, Scanoni had been open. And Hills East could really use a goal now, trailing by 4. It's a 6-2 East Islip lead with 2:45 remaining in the opening half. And this is what you look at for a young team. How do they respond to the adversity? You know, it's easy to kind of pack it up, or do you want to battle back? That's something that I'm sure Gordy Hodgson is going to look for out of his team. The resiliency. Pass looking up top, knocked down. East Islip with the ball. And then knocked out, and the Red Men recover. Modica with the grab. Here comes Gazzetta. They look on the doorstep again, and another top shelf goal for Scanoni. Precision passing by East Islip, and they are on some sort of run. 7-2. Just a minute 52 to go, and Hills East will call a timeout. Face-off won by East Islip, and then the back check by Sarcona, and Hills East will have it again, and this is where you need to make a little bit of noise if you are the Thunderbirds. Torero back behind the cage it goes for Jesse Parker. Here's Pellegrino with it. Closing in on the final minute. Nice little quick stick, just a little wide. Backelman was looking for his third of the game. He's been the only one to score thus far for Hills East. Here's Parker, tries to turn around, put one on. Tracking after it was Backelman. Squirts out in the corner, and East Islip just doing a tremendous job on the right attempt. But Hills will hold on to it with 42 seconds to go. In 42 seconds, of course, a lot of time in the lacrosse world. You score a quick goal, you can win a face-off and get another one before the half comes to an end. Up top, stepping into a shot, a high shot, was James. But stepping into it, Rohan without a problem. Here's Sean Cummings trying to turn the corner. Misses one wide. "13 seconds to go in the opening half." Here's Ravello. Near side. Cummings with it. Ball on the ground all the way out towards midfield, and time will run out on the first half. A very impressive second quarter for the Redmen as they outscore Hills East 6-1 and lead 7-2 after one half. We'll be back in just a couple moments on MSG Varsity. Welcome back to Hills East High School. Matt Shortis, Tom Schnars with you as East Islip has a 7-2 lead over Hills East in a Suffolk County League One showdown. Both teams trying to get their third win in League One. In the first half, it was Scanoni with the hat trick and Rigo with a pair, his second on the EMO, and it was a 6-1 second quarter. That's been the difference for East Islip. We were tied at one after one, and the Redmen have just gone on a tear, and they're playing like a confident bunch right now. Rigo able to keep the ball inbounds off the face-off win, and they get it to Ravello, who's also had a pretty big impact on the offense, as well as Modica has. Tyree Brown with one goal today works his way behind the cage. The opening moments of the second half. Brown, a transfer, moved in from Huntington, as he was on a team last year that lost in the Suffolk County Finals to Shoreham-Wading River in Class B. In transition, here's a one-on-one opportunity, and Hills East has their first goal since early on in the second quarter. And it's Anthony Ramsell right on the doorstep. And could that be what gets Hills East going? We shall see. That's the first goal scored by someone not named Bockelman for Hills East. And a little trouble with the ground ball. It was eventually picked up by Rothstein, but then he lost the handle on it. And coming away with it is Zach Carreri for East Islip. Pair of twin long poles. You have Zach and Justin Carreri, twin brothers for East Islip. Brown lets one go. And now it's back behind the cage, and Hills East will have a nice job by the netminder Eckholtz to chase after it. Always love to see that out of your goalie. Here's Carter Jones into the attacking box. Jones, nice little tic-tac-toe passing. And Ramsell has another one. Bockelman on the assist that time. And Hills East has a pair in less than a minute. Just a good job. You got to give credit as well to Carter Jones, who initiated that. The defense slid over to him. He moved it down low to Bockelman, and credit Bockelman for making the extra pass where it was needed. And it's a 7-4 game. And with a young team. It's all about confidence. You get a couple goals, much like East Islip. They have experience in terms of grade and age-wise, but not a lot of game experience because of how many players they lost from a year ago. Zach Carreri playing absolute tenacious defense on that loose ball. Causes the turnover. And East Islip will have possession. Ball gets underneath the stick of Rohan. And all of a sudden East Islip thought they had an easy clear, and things getting a little bit rocky. Tyler Rigo sliding up to midfield. And we're going to have a flag down. Some offsides coming up against Hills. Bockelman was chasing after on the ride and lost his balance, flew over the line. So man down. For the Thunderbirds, and Rigo scored his second goal of the game on the extra man. Near side, it comes for Cummings. Cummings right on the doorstep, turnaround shot. Eckholtz there for the save. And a deep bomb from Eckholtz, just trying to clear it down. And it eventually lands into the stick of Jesse Parker. Again, Parker's been quiet today. They look up top. Here's a quick shot just high. Off the stick of Barkov, it looked like. Pardon me, Albert Simon, who just missed on that shot. Penalties released. We're back to 6-on-6. Ramazil operating behind the cage. And this is where Hills East maybe has struggled a little bit. They have not had a good set. 6-on-6 offense. That was a shot. We'll see who's closest to it. Will be a Hills East possession, but a deep sprint from both teams. Carter Jones had launched that shot. It hit a defender. Albert Simon bringing in. Ramazil along the far side. Here's Jones now back behind the cage as Hills East dips and dodges and weaves. Up at the top it comes. Right now, they're having a little trouble attacking the interior. Moving on the far side, Ramazil with it. And scored both Hills goals in this third quarter. Ramazil was looking on the interior. His pass knocked down and picked up by Ravello of East Islip. Here's Robert Rohan. The netminder with a long pass ahead. Nice job, East Islip in transition. And they'll slow it back down. Here's Sean Cummings with it as East Islip will exchange personnel with 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter in a 7-4 game with East Islip on top. Straight away, Ravello. As the Red Men now settle into their 6-on-6 offense. Pass gets away and it's picked up by Dowd of Hills East. Max Geringswald. His pass stolen. Right on the doorstep. This bounce shot high over the head. of Eckholtz, and Eckholtz again for the second time in the quarter able to chase one down after it gets by him. A little more than 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 7-4, East Islip on top. They had a 7-2 lead at halftime. On the bounce, it comes for Dowd. As Hills steps it into the box, and now Dowd will retreat back. And Carter Jones coming over. Here's a shot left off the mark by Rameshill. One of the captains on Hills East. They are looking like a more patient, determined team in this third quarter. Nice job on the stick check by Justin Carreri. Ball out at the top of the box, eventually picked up by Rameshill. 5 minutes remaining in the third, 7-4. East Islip on top of Hills East. A little hesitation, Pellegrino trying to back his way down, double team. Pellegrino now trying to find the open man, scurries out of the double. Back behind the cage it comes. And we'll have a whistle. And a stoppage is... Looked like Pellegrino lost a shoot. So play resumes after Pellegrino able to settle himself back down, get his shoe all tied up. 4:35 to go, 7-4. East Islip with a third quarter lead. Here's Bockelman. Ball stolen and a whistle. We're going to get a push from behind. That appears to be the case. Joanne Kona and Kona not too happy with it. Out of the stick of Pellegrino, ball near midfield. We'll have a loose ball push. As Tyler Rigo was pushed over that midfield line as the ball came out. They were trying to get him off sides. Tyree Brown, the Huntington transfer, over to Scanoni with 3 goals today. East Islip still looking for their first goal of the half. Up top it comes for Brown. Lets one fly and puts it in. Just a nice little jump shot from Tyree Brown, has his second. Took him a little while in the third, but East Islip back on top by 4. It's an 8-4 game. Hills East, after having those 2 quick goals right around the 10-minute mark, they have not had a shot on goal since. Fielded on the bounce by Brown, 2 for him today. He, Scanoni, and Rigo have combined for 7 of the 8 East Islip goals. In the corner, Cummings with it. Top for Brown again. He'll slow it back down. Tyree Brown, a player that kind of sought out wanting to play lacrosse. He sought out Joe Ancona after transferring in from Huntington. Now East Islip turns it over. As rain starts to kind of trickle and fall down. It's a little slicker, a little more slippery. Tesserero. Near side it comes for Albert Simon. Here's a dodge with a quick stick and a goal. Jesse Parker has his first of the game. And it's back to a 3-goal deficit. Parker from Bockelman, who has his second assist. 4-point game for Bockelman. And it's not often he's kept off the score sheet. We talked about it, 18 goals on the season. His lowest output was 2 against West Islip. Now Hills wins the faceoff, picked up by Zach Shapiro. A little over 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And they'll lose that out of bounds to EI. 8-5 Redmond lead. Bring the ball over midfield. Justin Carreri. In the stick of Ravello it comes. And EI will take a timeout. Joe Ancona using one of his 2 second-half timeouts. And Tyler Rigo, the attacker, will start it with the ball in his stick, looking right on the crease. And a back check, knocking it out of the stick of Modica, picked up by Hills East. A minute 40 to go in the third quarter, trying to get something positive before the end of the quarter. Turn back over into the stick of Tyree Brown. Brown lets one fly wide. Backing up there was Sean Cummings. Up top for Brown at the left point. Brown moves to his right. Right on the doorstep. And a save made by Eccles. Joe Modica was robbed as Eccles is getting into a good groove now. 48 seconds to go in the third quarter. 8-5 East Islip lead. Still plenty of time. Here's Carter Jones with it. Wings one towards the cage wide. And Ramazell was there backing up with 31 seconds to go in the quarter. Ramazell holds in the football end zone. Here's Parker with it. Now Ramazell looking to dish, 14 seconds to go in the quarter. Has his head up. Comes near side. Ball dropped, but picked back up. Right on the crease. Quick stick just wide. And the quarter will just about come to an end. 0.7 seconds show. So they'll try and get one in front quickly. But the quarter comes to an end. Hills East battled back a bit. They trailed by 5 at the break. They trail by 3 as we go to the fourth quarter of play. We start the fourth quarter 8-5. East Islip on top of Hills East. And to this point, it's been a game of 3 very distinctly different quarters. We're tied at 1 after 1. Then East Islip outscored Hills East 6-1 in the second quarter, and it was a 4-1 Hills East third quarter. It's sort of what you might expect out of 2 younger teams in League One, but 2 teams that still fancy themselves as playoff potential. Here's Bockelman and an assist off of that goal. Ramazel has his 3rd of the game. And Hills East keeping up their scoring. Bockelman, his 5th point of the game. And a beauty of a behind-the-back goal by Ramazel. And Hills East wins the face-off. Ramazel now feeling it a little bit with the hat trick today. Up top it comes for Parker. Shapiro up top, they move it back behind the cage. A quick stick, and Rowan was able to get a piece of that. Robert Rohan is going to Dale High College to play his lacrosse at the next level. Here's Matt Walter. 8-6 all of a sudden. At halftime didn't seem like much of a game all of a sudden. That's exactly what we have. East Islip will slow it down a bit. Behind the cage it comes for Sean Cummings. And you gotta give credit to John Eccles, who really rebounded from a rough second quarter and had a strong third quarter, made a couple of saves right on his doorstep. And now he'll try to clear as EI turns the ball over. Nice pass in transition, able to find Cody Dowd. Dowd looking cross field, and it'll go out of bounds. As the pass when it was intended for Rothstein, but a little too much on it. Eight 8-6, East Islip leads. 2-2 in League One. Hills East 2-1 in League One. And East Islip, pardon me, has lost a couple of close ones. They lost 2 games in overtime on the season. Rigo. Up top it comes for Scanoni. Over on the left side, Ravilla was winding up. He lost it out of his stick, able to recover, and then knocked out of his stick on a nice check by Cody Dowd, the defensive captain of Hills East. He ignites the transition game, says Gordy Hodgson. A very athletic family. Gordy Hodgson has, of course, his brother Robert was the basketball coach at William Floyd for many years before he suddenly passed away several weeks ago. In fact, the team wearing RH here on the back of their helmets, a lot of the players came up to coach and asked if they could do that, and he said it was something that really touched him. It was a really nice gesture of his players, and this goal is going to be waved off. on a procedure penalty. Hills East seems a little befuddled by the explanation from Mike Masana. Just to finish up my point about Gordy Hodgson, his two of his children and of the West Islip lacrosse family. Here's a save made by Eccles. His daughter Lorraine, excellent basketball player and lacrosse player. She'll be going to Ohio State. His son Andrew is playing at Towson now. Eccles getting mobbed from behind. Ball's loose on the ground. Somehow, Hills East able to keep it out of the net. But the freshman, Gordy Hodgson said he has his good days and his bads. He could be as good as anybody, and he can be a little rough. And in this second half, he's been as good as anybody after having a rough second quarter. So give him credit. He has made the adjustments necessary. Rigo looking on the doorstep, pass knocked down, and play is stopped due to a whistle. I didn't see a flag down, but it appears that East Islip is going on the MO for a cross check. .7:44 remaining in the game, 8-6, East Islip on top. Behind the cage it comes for Scanoni, who's got 3 today. Last one coming at the end of the first half. Scanoni right on the crease, and that's a goal. Sean Cummings in traffic, able to stick with it and nail it in. Really, what a job by Sean Cummings. 3-4 guys right around him, taking hits as he fires off the shot. 9-6. East Islip back on top by 3. But Hills wins the faceoff with 7:19 to go. Still a lot of time left in this one. That ball's knocked down. Flag comes down. Another flag comes down. It looks like Hills East may be going on a 2-man advantage. We have 2 cross checks on Zach Carreri and Ken Pastor. So Hills East will have a 2-man advantage for a full minute. So 6-on-4 for Hills East as they try and battle back from 3 down. Right on the crease, here's a turnaround and a goal. Nick Pellegrino putting it in. That's Justin Rothstein able to find him. Not much of a problem. Perfectly set up when you're when you're 6-on-4, you have the 2-man advantage, and it's back to a 2-goal game. And that will release the penalties. So both teams getting an extra man goal in the last couple moments. Hills East back on the attack with under 7 minutes to go, down by 2. It's a 9-7 game. Ramesville behind the cage, starting to dodge. Comes up top for Parker, moves to the left side. Again, the Under Armour All-American. It's been kept in check pretty nicely today, though. Just one goal. His pass up high, bounces all the way out near midfield. Fight for the loose ball. Picked up by Hills East, then stolen away. Picked up by East Islip, then stolen away by Hills East. Batted out near midfield, and East Islip will pick it up. And a timeout taken by Joanne Cota of EI. Two-goal game. We approach the half, or we're just past the halfway point of the quarter. 6-on-6 lacrosse. Both teams have scored on the EMO in the last couple minutes. Here's Ravello. Now East Islip spreading things out offensively. Rigo comes all the way up top. Couple goals today for him. Modica tries to dish off, and the pass is taken by Cody Dowd of Hills. Down a little trouble getting rid of it, and then lost it out of bounds. No help there for him. Nobody came towards him. Everybody started to break upfield. Under 5 minutes to go. 9-7, East Islip leads Hills East. Rigo splits the defense, moves towards the cage, and scores! Third goal of the game for Tyler Rigo. And that might do it. With 4:36 to go, lead back to 3 for East Islip. And what an impressive move for Tyler Rigo. Swam through 2 defenders and beat a third on his way to the net. Loose ball push whistled against East Islip. And Hills will have it. And it looks like they're going to call it back. Saying that Albert Simon went too quickly on a restart. Here's Bockelman around the corner. Goes far side, back to the cage. Trying to face up now. 4:05 to go, 10-7. Bockelman finds inside. I don't know how Nick Pellegrino got that shot off, but he did, and he scores. Second goal of the game for him. And a quick response, just 36 seconds after the East Islip goal. He went through a couple of hard stick checks and somehow was able to not only hold on to the ball but get a shot off and score. So the lead back to 2 once again. But Hills East has not been able to break through this sort of plateau. Here's Shapiro. Kept in by Bockelman. They're trying to go around that same area. Bockelman looking for Parker. Parker pushed off the ball, and we should have a loose ball push against East Islip. Yes, the ball was loose, and Parker was shoved to the ground. Ramazell. He's got a couple today. Turns the corner, moves up top. Pellegrino tried to shoot before he caught the ball. Able to recover though. Far side for Bockelman with 3 minutes to go. Bockelman turns around, loses the stick and gets hammered. And a flag will come down. Hills East will go on the man advantage. Now our officials will talk things over. Tito Perez and Mike Massana. You always like to see the call correct. And it was a little tricky, I think, because Pellegrino had lost his stick, or Bockelman had lost his stick, and after the stick fell to the ground, he got pounded. So it looks like they waved the flag off. But now based on that, whose possession will it be? Prior to, Hills East will take a timeout. Fans, MSG Varsity's talent show is back as students from around the tri-state compete for the top slots in Best Solo Vocal, Best Ensemble Vocal, and Best Ensemble Dance. Remember, your vote decides who moves on to the next round on MSG Varsity's talent show. Sundays at 8 p.m. only on Optimum, never on Fios, never on satellite. So they straighten everything out. Hills East has possession. We're 6-on-6 as the penalty flag was picked up. And there's 3 minutes to go and a 2-goal East Islip lead. Tyler Balkin into the game. Pellegrino. Up top he comes for Balkin. Parker inverted at the midfield now. Lets one fly and puts it in. Well, Parker ripped one from up top, and that makes it just a 1-goal game. Second of the game for Parker. And now 10-9, your score. East Islip had a 5-goal lead at halftime, 7-2. It has been whittled down to 1. With 2:36 to go, an important face-off, an infraction, and Hills East will have it. Rothstein. Here's Bockelman. Moves it inside for Parker, takes a left-handed shot, just misses wide. And backing up for Hills was Ramazell. Pretty good look for Hills East with 2:24 to go. Ramazell waiting patiently at X. Cuts over to his right side, beats his man, but lost the ball on the back check. Nice job on the back check by East Islip. Ball squirts all the way out near midfield. It's played over. Dowd picks up the ground ball, and Hills will take a timeout. Last timeout used by Hills East. East Islip already out of their timeouts. Under 2 minutes to play in a 1-goal game. East Islip on top of Hills East 10-9. Hills East is trailed by as many as 5 goals today. Tyler Balkin, now Parker, right on the doorstep. Pellegrino tried to spin around, lost the handle, and it's picked up by Justin Carreri. Carreri, the long pull into the offensive box. Nobody picked him up, and he dished it off to Scanoni as East Islip will try and kill some clock. Minute 20 to go in a 1-goal game. Carreri just being pummeled by DiPietro. And now they start to double. Ball squirts out. Fight for the ground ball. It's going to be picked up by Hills East, but then a push out of bounds. Nice job by Tyree Brown. And again, remember, both teams are out of timeout. Under a minute to go. Rigo on a beautiful back check by Dowd. Picks it up. Tries to advance ahead. 50 seconds to play. Ball overthrown as they look for Tesserero. So Hills East will have it with 41 seconds to go. Pass ahead for Parker. Ball on the ground. Bockelman couldn't handle it. And Hills East wasting precious time now as they may not even get a shot off in the final minute. East Islip able to create the turnover. Dowd picks it up for Hills. 17 to go. Dowd right on the doorstep, puts it in. Will the goal be waved off? Anthony Ramoshill fell down, but the goal will count. 14 seconds to go. And Ramoshill has his 4th of the game. And I didn't see exactly where he fell. I thought it might have been a crease violation. So can somebody score in the final 14, or are we going to overtime? Here comes Hills. Here's a quick pass. Parker puts it in. 7 seconds to go, and Hills East takes a lead. The first lead since it was 2-1. And the 3rd goal of the game for Parker. (11-10) Hills East. They have scored 4 unanswered goals. East Islip wins it. They've got just 2 seconds. 1, and Hills East completes the comeback. They were down 7-2 at halftime. They scored 9 goals in the second half, including the game winner with just 7 seconds to go. And you got to give credit to Parker and the offense, but Jordan Eccles did a much better job in the second half, preserving and allowing this team to come back. We'll be back in a moment to wrap things up. A thrilling end as Hills East wins by 1. The game tying goal, would you take me through it?
Well, Cody Dowd was able to get a great ground ball coming down, saw me. I was able to get the nice face dodge and put it in, got hit after, and I was just looking to put my team ahead.
Now, first half, you're down 7-2 at halftime. You guys chip away. What did Coach say to you at halftime?
Well, we weren't really working as offense in the first half, and during the second half, we really came together. A lot of younger players stepped up, and everybody on the team contributed.
And it seemed like you guys were having a pretty good amount of success in the fast break, including on the goal that you scored to tie it up.
Yeah, Justin Rothstein was able to provide a lot of fast breaks for us. And overall, we just played as a team, and we're looking to win some more games this season and do some good stuff.
You had let up 6 goals in that second quarter. How were you guys able to buckle down defensively in the second half?
A lot of talking in the first half. Basically, we were not talking, not communicating, letting backdoor cuts, running into picks. And after halftime, our coach told us just communicate. And our goalie made big saves, and we just rallied off of that.
And it seemed like Eccles got a little bit stronger as the game went on too.
Yeah, that helped us big time. It gave us a lot of confidence down the stretch.
Now, when they made it 10-7, it seemed like they kind of had it put away. What were you guys thinking at that point?
In practice, we go hard all the time, and I know our coach believes in us, and we just never let down. Even if they score, we just kept coming back and just going hard.
Tie game, 14 seconds to go. You win the face-off. What are you thinking?
I knew I could get the ball to my attack because I have confidence in them, and I know they could score. So I just clamped it, got it in front of me, and we had the fast break. Gave it to Jesse, and they scored.
How big of a win do you think this is, being that how far down you guys were?
Huge win. It'll help us get into the playoffs. Each win counts, and we got the job done today.
And you got Ward Millville coming up on Friday. How much does this help you into that game?
It's a big game. We have a lot of confidence going in, and we just got to play our game, see what happens.
Hills East storms all the way back, and they win 11-10 over East Islip. Matt Shortis now with our MSG varsity player of the game, Jesse Parker, who had the game-winning goal. Jesse, first take me through that. You tie the game with 14 seconds to go. What'd you see on your game winner?
Well, we had a fast break. Our face-off man, Justin Rothstein, we knew he was going to win the face-off, so coach had us in a flat break. I just cut to the ball. I saw it there, wide-open shot, and scored.
So when you guys tied it, is that something that you thought could be a possibility, quick face-off and a goal?
Yeah, Justin's been winning the face-offs all game, and we just had confidence in our whole team and came through. And
they seem to give you a tough time the first half. You only had 1 goal. What'd you do differently in that fourth quarter?
I just played my game. In the first half, I was trying to do too much, a little nervous, but second half, my team calmed me down, and I just felt a lot better.
All right, Jesse, thanks. Congratulations on the win. So again, Hills East, 11-10 winners over East Islip. Jesse Parker with 3 goals today. And that'll do it for us for MSG Varsity. I'm Matt Shortis. For our camera, producer, and operator Tom Schnars. We'll catch you next time as the Thunderbirds 11-10 over EI today.